Yeah. So, dear guests, please take your seats. Дорогие гости, пожалуйста, займите свои места. Iltimos, o'z joylaringizni egallangizlar. Hozir 1 daqiqada boshlasak bo'ladi deb o'ylayman. Hurmatli mehmonlar, ruxsat bersangiz
Dear
tadbir.
guests, let's start our event. My name is Akram Umar. I'm a Deputy Director at the Institute of Advanced International Studies. I would like to welcome you at the University of World Economy and Diplomacy. It's a great pleasure to see you, to have you here. At our university, in June 2022, we established by the order of the President the Institute for Advanced International Studies. We would like to hold an event dedicated to this. We have 9 presentations on centers and labs under this institute. And of course, we will be waiting for your comments and questions and ready to respond. For the opening remarks, we would like to give the floor to the first Vice Rector, Mr. Alamov. The floor is yours. Good afternoon, dear participants of the event. First of all, Mr. Sadiq Safayev, Director of the University, would like to thank for joining this event. Today, under the leadership of the President of Uzbekistan, an important political event is taking place. That's why Mr. Rector could not join this event, and we hope that he will be able still to join us later. With your permission, we would like to welcome all the guests, the members of the diplomatic corps, as well as employees of the Institute of Advanced International Studies. For the last 5 years, in the modern international relations, we face the biggest changes, and that is the emergence of the new Uzbekistan. Of course, this is due to the changes initiated by the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan. And Uzbekistan became one of the centers, and the image of Uzbekistan is increasing. Uzbekistan began to restore its historical and civilizations. In recent years, Uzbekistan has clearly demonstrated that it is confidently gaining the status of a regional state. So in turn, this requires rethinking Uzbekistan's foreign policies, philosophy, its strategic responsibility for consistently conducting credible and proactive diplomacy based on solid principles. It is no coincidence that today's renewed foreign policy of Uzbekistan aims to develop openness and foreign relations equally in all areas, west, east, south, north, in all directions, ensuring peace and stability around our country, promoting our national interests in the international arena, creating a favorable external environment for deepening reforms is one of the most important factors for ensuring the development of our country. Today, humanity is going through a very difficult time. In international relations, the decrease in mutual trust, the increase in contradictions and conflicts pose a serious threat to stability and development. On first, the problems related to sudden changes in climate, water, and other natural resources are becoming global threats. For Uzbekistan, this means, first of all, a serious and systematic review of its foreign policy, taking into account the new global and regional realities and the newly acquired status, identifying innovative mechanisms for achieving foreign policy goals, calculating risks and dividends, and taking rapid changes in response measures are essential. In this regard, today, there is an increasing need for studies that determine the fundamental principles, main goals, main tasks and priorities of Uzbekistan's diplomacy, as well as mechanisms for its implementation. It is necessary to diversify the foreign policy of the country, to look for new promising partners and directions of diplomacy. Consistent continuation of an active regional policy in Central Asia remains the most important direction of Uzbekistan foreign policy. It is not about consolidating the positive changes achieved in the region, but also about responding appropriately to the risks arising from the growing global uncertainty. In turn, it is necessary to study the prospects of gradual institutionalization of regional cooperation. Based on this, the Institute of Advanced International Studies has established under the University of World Economy and Diplomacy, by the decision of the President, in order to improve the research and information analytical support of the country's foreign political and foreign economic activities, and to harmonize the educational process with research. Within the structure of the Institute, the activity of scientific analytical centers conducting research on the study of countries and regions, current global development, sustainable development problems, energy geopolitics, economic diplomacy, and international legal issues has been launched. At today's event, we will get detailed information about the activities of the Institute and important projects planned by its centers. Once again, we would like to warmly welcome you at the University of Government Diplomacy. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Omanov. So now I would like to
Rahmat.
give the floor to, Director of the Institute for Advanced International Studies, Professor Shehzod Abdullayev, who is a prominent Uzbek scholar, anthropologist, conflictologist, who also has an extended experience and background in diplomatic service. He served as a deputy chief of mission in the United States, and also he was a counselor to the Minister of Foreign Affairs for many years. So please, floor is yours.
Thank you. Hurmatli Durbek Umidovich, Hurmatli Furqat Akhmedovich.
Dear Durbek Umidovich, Furqat Akhmedovich, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, members of the diplomatic corps, and other guests, dear ladies and gentlemen. The Institute, the leadership of the Institute for Advanced International Studies and its faculty, I would like to warmly welcome you at the event. Our institute has been established in order to transform the University of World Economy and Diplomacy, and is tasked to be engaged in international and political studies. Institute has 9 political centers engaged in fundamental research in different areas. Their presentations will be given to you in detail in today's event. In the scientific centers, we brought together serious, experienced scholars, also those who have experience in diplomatic activities and other areas. Our research is aimed at creating a solid analytical basis for making political decisions and strengthening the status of UWED as one of the think tanks in global security, global politics, and regional security. For that, we are ready to conduct fundamental research and implement a comprehensive analytical projects of a practical nature in international relations, and give our stakeholders an expertise in foreign policy of Uzbekistan and provide basis and justification for that, as well as provide by requests of local and international organizations the situational analysis in key areas in interaction of Uzbekistan with the foreign countries, taking into account the national interests from the standpoint of policy-centric views, as well as provide consultancy on these matters, as well as to develop in interdisciplinary nature to conduct research. This will be implemented through using unique methods of data collection and analysis of data, which is the result of the in-house research of the center, as well as we are ready to provide consultancy services in national or regional arena. Also developed matters in cognitive matters, which means analytical counteractions to negative trends and events, as well as publish articles in local and regional and international scientific journals, as well as to share expertise with local and international scholars on the topical issues, as well as support expert dialogue with foreign and local think tanks and research institutes. The institute is open for debates and discussions, as well as serves as a platform for international discussions. And the institute is free to develop its curricula, its program based on its charter. The institute is neutral, impartial, and the management is, of course, based on the national interests. We developed a comprehensive plan of research for 2023, and right now we're working on a roadmap for developing of the institute for the next 5 years. We will be creating new research centers in order to study international problems and challenges, which will be a key in the nearest future for our national interests. Dear friends, I'm sure that the activities of the institute will be interesting both for the academic circles and in practical sense, as well as for business community, as well as for international organizations. I would like to conclude by saying that we are open for constructive dialogue and cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Abdullayev.
Rahmat.
Give the floor to our prominent guest, the first Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan, His Excellency Furqat Sadiqov. Please.
Thank you so much. Dear Durbek Umidovich, dear Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It's a great honor to attend in this inauguration ceremony of the Institute for Advanced International Studies. It's a brand new think tank at the University of the World Economy and Diplomacy. As our President stated in his address to the Oliy Majlis, the people of Uzbekistan in December last year, Uzbekistan is turning into one of the centers of the world politics, which widely recognized by the international community. This is a result of the consistent, deep, and comprehensive reforms carried out in our country today under the leadership of the President of Uzbekistan. I am confident that today's ceremony is a clear example of the large-scale measures being implemented for the political, social, and economic modernization of society aimed to create a new Uzbekistan. It's worth noting that an independent, international, and interdisciplinary scientific research institute is being established for the first time in our country. I am confident that this institute, along with the other professional research centers of the world, will become known as part of the global network of excellence. The institute aims to conduct fundamental and appeal to research on Afghanistan, South Asia, Asia-Pacific, Europe, and Americas, as well as sustainable development, geopolitics, economic diplomacy, conflict management, and others. This think tank has experienced and highly qualified specialists, experts in international relations. It has accumulated significant experience in cooperation with international organizations, in particular UN structures, foreign institutions, including US, Japanese, and Russian universities. Also, the Institute is relatively young. It's admirable that more than 10 articles have already been published by its researchers in the media and scientific outlets, including national interest and the diplomat. In addition, relations have been established with the research organization of 5 foreign countries, and joint events have been conducted with 7 international institutions. Along with that, the Institute has many objectives as well, and I think its potential will provide all opportunities and to successfully and effectively achieve all planet goals. Dear friends, rapidly changing modern international relations, Uzbek diplomacy, including economic diplomacy based on the openness, constructive, and pragmatism, requires independent, modern, creative, and highly educated specialists to energetically serve their homeland. In this regard, I would like to emphasize that the Ministry's ultimate goal to promote and facilitate scientific research in the direction relevant for the country's foreign policy and establish effective cooperation in the education, science, practice format. Ministry of Foreign Affairs is committed to strengthening the scientific potential and human capacity of the university and the Institute of Advanced International Studies through international cooperation. Thank you for your attention.
Dear guests, thank you very much, His Excellency, Mr. Furkat Siddiqui, for your excellent greeting to the Institute and our colleagues. We have small technical issues with this next part of our ceremony of signing the memorandum. So if you don't mind, we will make small shift in our program. We will postpone the signing memorandum and photography to the end of our event. And now we will go straightly to the presentations of our excellent centers. So first presentation will be given by the Center for Sustainable Development, Ms. Kamula Safaeva, who is an experienced scholar and practitioner. She has an extensive experience and background in working for different international organizations of the UN system. So she will be opening our presentations, and the Center for Sustainable Development will be the first. Thank you. Please, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Akram. I am honored to be first in the round of presentations of our centers. I'm presenting here Center for Sustainable Development. If you allow me, I will not stop on the significance and importance of the sustainable development for today's world. Everyone who is in this hall, they know this importance. That's why one of our centers is devoted to sustainable development. And here is just a small overview of place of Uzbekistan in SDG index. As you can see, we are doing very well, and Uzbekistan have some reasons to be proud for doing progress even during the COVID pandemic, and ownership of government of Uzbekistan and nationalization of SDGs not once was it was marked by the international society. You know, integration of SDGs into policies done very well by many of the countries. Now the next challenge is to do integration of the sustainable development goals into the practices. How can we see we can do better? We can see that we can move from generic appraisals of SDGs towards translating these policies into actions, into concrete actions, by mainstreaming of the SDGs not only to the strategies but to the operational plans, by informed decision making not only on central level but even on the local levels in districts and provinces. And we are looking forward for critical discussions of advantages and limitations of these frameworks, with a particular focus on methodological weaknesses, practical applicability to specific context, and utility for the development of policy strategies for coherent SDG planning and implementation. Also, I know that in this hall we can see and we are greeting representatives of the business. Sometimes it's very hidden for the business why they should care for sustainable development goals. But understanding of non-monetary benefits of SDGs is one of the main priority of today's. For business, it's sometimes new opportunities to become more resilient as an organization and make sure that business is addressing future needs. Attract funding opportunities by showcasing how business can minimize negative impact and maximize positive impact across material issues, etc. What was the goal of creating of the Sustainable Development Center? It was to promote effective implementation of the national sustainable goals and objectives through research, analysis, capacity building, knowledge generation, and advocacy. I just want to show you what kind of benefits and what kind of what makes us unique, why you should work with us, because now many of the entities and institutions are working around sustainable development. What makes us unique, it was said during the opening speech of our distinguished director. But I want to point once again about that we are inheriting and we are integrating inside of the institute everything what becomes to the university. We can pioneer in innovative educational programs. We can integrate SDG education into the current education. We have possibility to subcontract and to attract UWED professors and lecturers, and possibility to pilot and roll out programs within UWED syllabus. Also, we have quite significant expertise in national and international economics, law, politics, and environmental issues. Moreover, we have possibility to cooperate with Department of Executive Education, with newly established diplomatic academy. Also, we can attract bright students of UWED. Many of them are future diplomats and policymakers, bright and proactive, and they can be influencers among their peers. Also, we are locating in the heart of the UWED with its great infrastructure, and we can conduct trainings, events. We have access to media center of UWED with its excellent possibilities to create and record talk shows, podcasts, and etc., etc. We offer following products and services, three main areas where we can see our benefits. First is SDG sensitive education and capacity building. Last year, we applied for the membership of the, it's not always working. For the membership to the Sustainable Development Solution Network, and we are expecting very soon positive response. Once we are becoming members of this, we can use full access to the materials of the SDG Academy for development, adaptation, and integration of the SDG sensitive syllabus and curricula. And we want to mainstream and integrate SDG topics into the teaching program, starting from our university to all of the country. Also, we are offering adaptable training packages on sustainable and human development for program developers, for implementers, practitioners, and guided online training under supervision of our professors. So everyone who knows about SDGs from the central to local level can do informed decision making doing that, and we are implementing and integrating SDGs in our daily routine. As the second area of where we can see our strengths is evidence-based policy for the SDGs. We offer to prepare advocacy tools and packages together with someone or by ourselves on sustainable and human development topics, to collect and develop data and material for development of case studies, country examples in the area of sustainable development. We can do compilation of applicable and acceptable examples, best practices, and lessons learned for various areas of sustainable development to be used to accelerate progress in reaching objectives of the SDGs. And third area of where we can see our strength is advocacy for the SDGs. We can operate and function as public platform to create a dialogue, moderate discussions, generate recommendations with representatives of international, public, and private organizations to achieve SDGs. For example, we can influence integration of principles of human rights, including gender equity and child rights, into the strategies, policies, and plans. We can do mediation for and moderations of policy dialogue between various stakeholders and players. We can elevate the level of dialogue, boosting its transparency and inclusiveness, and we can serve as expertise and backstage support for proper positioning and coverage of substantial international events by media with the SDG lens. And also we can develop and conduct programmatic events like orientation and consensus building meetings, strategies and policy dialogues, retreats and trainings. We can offer our services for proofreading and editing of documents by experts in the relevant areas of economics, law, anthropology, etc. And we can participate in monitoring visits, data collections for research and studies, and data analysis. So far, we reached some of the results. We are now participating in dialogue between government of our country and United Nations volunteers, which aim to increase opportunities for Uzbek citizens, young Uzbek citizens, to support translation into practices, partnership proposal between government of Uzbekistan and United Nations volunteers. We participated online and presented during the panel of a discussion on hydrodiplomacy in Paris on sideline of UN Water Summit on groundwater, and we received invitation to participate in the UN Water Conference, which will be held in New York this March. We are participating in the process of developing an advocacy tool for sustainable financing of the National Immunization Program by WHO, and also it was small but very significant activity. Our trainers developed and conducted session during the UNICEF retreat on UN core values, for which we are very appreciating UNICEF representative. It was a great chance, a great start to start for. And let me introduce head of our center, Dr. Laylota Shpulatova. She is head of Center for Sustainable Development and head of the International Economics Department. She is present in this hall. She is associate professor of UWED, and this is me. My name is Kamova Safaeva. Thank you for your attention, and we are looking forward for effective cooperation.
Thank you, Dr. Safaeva. Now I would like to give the floor for the presentation of the Laboratory for Anthropology and Conflict Studies. It's actually unique, only laboratory within our institute. And the presentation will be given by Mr. Rustam Mahmudov, who is an experienced researcher, and also he has a background working in Minister of Foreign Affairs and different other think tanks. Please, Mr. Mahmudov.
Благодарю вас, господин модератор. Уважаемые дамы и господа, дорогие коллеги, я считаю, что само появление идеи создания первой подобной лаборатории антропологии и конфликтологии в Узбекистане является далеко не случайным. Наоборот, мне оно видится очень логичным и закономерным, поскольку вытекает из тех масштабных изменений, которые происходят в Узбекистане в результате идущих с 2016 года реформ, а также благодаря активизации процесса сотрудничества в регионе Центральной Азии после начала нового внешнеполитического курса страны, носящего открытый, проактивный и креативный характер. Между тем, появившееся масштабное поле изменений в Узбекистане до сих пор остается недостаточно разработанным с точки зрения антропологии и конфликтологии. И поэтому, создавая лабораторию, мы изначально задумывали ее как площадку, которая придаст импульс исследованиям именно в этих областях. Как мы понимаем миссию нашей лаборатории? Прежде всего, мы не планируем замыкаться лишь на академических исследованиях. Продукты, которые мы хотим создавать, будут в значительной степени носить практический характер. Они будут ориентированы на широкий спектр потребителей, от политиков до частного бизнеса. Иначе говоря, изучая происходящие социальные, антропологические, политико-экономические трансформации в Узбекистане и регионе, мы просто не можем стать эффективными и конкурентоспособными, если сами не станем частью этого практического поля. То есть мы должны быть своего рода mobilis in mobile, подвижный в подвижном. Если говорить о перспективных направлениях исследований, то, конечно же, этих направлений множество. Но я хотел бы остановиться на 4 направлениях, которые могут играть роль своего рода тематических грибниц. Первое направление – это исследования в области урбанической антропологии и социологии, связанных с ними конфликтогенных точек. Актуальность этого направления вызвана тем, что в Узбекистане идет ускоряющийся процесс урбанизации на фоне экономических реформ. Город, как вы знаете, традиционно создает новые формы идентичности, социализации, инкультурации, экономических, социальных и политических отношений, а также многочисленные конфликтные измерения, которые необходимо исследовать, которые необходимо решать. Это важно для политиков, это важно для бизнеса, для людей, вовлеченных в управление городскими сообществами и городскими пространствами. В этой связи одним из проектов, который мы планируем запустить в ближайшее время, это проект исследования джентрификации городских пространств. Джентрификация – это преобразование и ревитализация непрестижных городских территорий, бывших промышленных зон в районы для проживания среднего и высшего класса. Второе направление – это оценка степени эффективности взаимодействия формальных и неформальных институтов. Под институтами понимается набор правил, процедур соответствия, моральное и этическое поведение индивидуумов и социальных групп в интересах максимизации богатства. Как представляется, тема взаимодействия двух систем институтов в рамках единого государственного пространства будет иметь практический интерес, в том числе и для узбекского и иностранного бизнеса. Третье направление, перспективное, нам видится влияние внедрения инноваций и цифровизации на социальные, антропологические, ценностные и политические процессы. Технологии четвертой промышленной революции постепенно проникают в Узбекистан и меняя постепенно весь социальный ландшафт. К примеру, создается новое цифровое поколение джейзеров, влияние которых на все ключевые сегменты узбекского общества будет расти, начиная от рекрутирования представителей этого цифрового поколения во властные элиты и заканчивая формированием особенностей потребительского рынка. Я также считаю, что это крайне перспективное поле для исследований с ориентацией на практическое применение, начиная от политики, образования и заканчивая сферой торговли и рекламы. Если же говорить о региональном измерении, то мы также планируем сконцентрироваться на масштабном проекте, который будет сфокусирован на изучении типологии культурных изменений в странах Центральной Азии. Хотя страны и народы региона исторически близки друг к другу, однако у них есть свои отличия: восприятие дистанции власти, соотношение индивидуального и коллективного, восприятие неопределенности, восприятие ценностей модерна, постмодерна, постсекулярного поворота. Мы считаем, что за 30 лет независимого существования каждой из центральноазиатских государств по многим данным параметрам накопились достаточно серьезные отличия. И для того, чтобы успешно развивать регион, развивать интеграционные и коммуникационные процессы, нам необходимо именно концентрироваться на подобных культурных и антропологических измерениях. В завершении я хотел бы еще раз подчеркнуть, что упомянутые мною направления представляют собой лишь часть обширного комплекса тем, на которых будет специализироваться наша лаборатория. Рад буду ответить на ваши вопросы. Благодарю.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mahmudov. Now we are moving to the Center for Energy Geopolitics. So the presentation will be given by Nadura Muhammad Kula, who is the head of the center. She is also an experienced practitioner, development practitioner. She has an experience of working in different international offices of different international organizations of the UN system and also Japanese government organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, dear guests. I'm pleased to represent the Center for Energy Geopolitics. And so let me start from here. Yeah. At the moment, there are two of us, and I can say that it is a unique tandem of extensive experience and excellent academic approach. Energy is vital for most of the activities of modern society, and its use or consumption is generally taken as an index of standard of living. And energy security is an essential aspect for economic growth. Reliable energy supplies are necessary to support industrial activity, power business, and drive economic growth. Energy insecurity can lead to higher prices and also hurting businesses and consumers. It's also important for social stability. Needless to say that in the context of military conflicts, economic sanctions, and some regional disputes, and also natural disaster that we have witnessed in the past couple of years, it is really important to pay attention to energy security and energy geopolitics. So what is who is our audience and what are the products that we can offer? Our center can offer different products listed here. And also, if we divide our audience into 3 target groups, let's say, namely, international organizations and donor institutions, we can offer them political and economical risk assessment. Also, for governmental bodies, for example, we can offer analytical reports, policy advice, and recommendations, analysis of best world practices and their applicability to the regional context, or sort of needs assessment can be conducted. For private sector, we offer feasibility assessment, analysis of public fiscal regime and benefits, investment climate monitoring, stakeholders analysis. And I can assure you that we are capable to deliver all these products by employing field, experimental, and qualitative and quantitative analysis. So what we're doing now, recently we have published an analytical paper in the Diplomat online magazine, as you can see from the screenshot. We promptly address relevant energy-related issues and offer policy recommendations as well. Also, we try to bring together expertise from public, private, and academic communities. What is expected at the end of this month, we plan to conduct a roundtable where we will bring together representatives of some law firm who will describe how bidding process, procurement process of renewable energy sources are conducted in Uzbekistan, and also representative of a company which is usually conducting a feasibility analysis or pre-project analysis of ecosystem. By installment of some renewables, we have to think about ecological and environmental issues as well. So a company will come up with their findings, with their recommendations, how to manage this, how to arrange their projects, and also how to develop investment projects in green economy or green growth projects. This is also important for our students as well, or newcomers on the field. Also, we will discuss, of course, current issues that Uzbekistan faced with during this very unusual winter. And I hope that it will be useful discussions with some findings, with some recommendations, which will be handed over to Ministry of Energy. Also, we are really interested in some academic research, of course. For example, in collaboration with our counterpart in Azerbaijan, we applied for the grant for fundamental research, and Ministry of Innovation of the Republic of Uzbekistan already sent us notification on success during the first selection stage. We hope that it will be successful, and we will be able to conduct very interesting research on green growth. So that's it. Brief, but I hope it was informative. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this interesting presentation. Now, I would like to give the floor to the Center for Economic Diplomacy. Head of the center, Professor Maulanov, will be presenting. He, I think, is a unique expert on economic diplomacy issues in Uzbekistan, and I'm very happy to have him on our board. Mr. Maulanov, His Excellency is Ambassador of Uzbekistan to India and Latvia, and he was also first Deputy Foreign Minister in different years. And I think among his achievements also that he was considered as the most successful or efficient diplomat while during his term in India. So, Mr. Maulanov, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Assalomu alaykum, hurmatli rais, hurmatli mehmonlar, xush kelibsizlar.
Dear the chairperson, welcome to our event, one of the main goals is scientific and analytical support in promoting the foreign economic interests of Uzbekistan in the world community. The basis for these goals, first of all, economic diplomacy is currently one of the main foreign policy priorities for Uzbekistan. Second, the country's place in the world economy will be determined by the development and power of its economic diplomacy. I need to emphasize that the analytical and scientific information of the center will serve, first of all, to open for Uzbekistan international markets and guiding the ways to them. Second, opening for the world market the new trade and economic opportunities of Uzbekistan, as well as its investment potential. In particular, the center offers the following projects in the way of scientific research and is operating in these areas. First of all, formation and development of new trade and transportation flows in Central Asia. For Central Asian countries, this is quite topical and relevant. Second, development of a new architecture for diversified trade and transportation flows, Central Asian and Europe, because right now we are facing challenges in this area. The third, transformation of investment and innovation strategies of developed countries in the context of new technological competition. And fourth, formation of a new strategy for the export of services, innovations, and intellectual property. So, in particular, the center is offering the following promising projects. Development of a strategy and mechanisms to strengthen the integration of Central Asia into the international economic system. Second, reorientation of investment flows into innovative projects of green growth and sustainable development in Central Asia. And the third, assessment of and forecast of the influence of modern challenges and threats on the development of economic diplomacy of the European Union as well as CIS countries, and do a comparative analysis in these areas. To resolve these matters, of course, we have the appropriate tools of the center. We can provide trainings. As you see on the slide, I don't want to read it. You can just read from the slide. And to fulfill these services and the tasks, we have the staff of the center there at your disposal. Thank you very much.
Professor Mauliano, thank you very much for very
Katta rahmat.
Presentation about the opportunities which your center is trying to explore and your research priorities. So now we are moving to the Center for International Law Studies. Dr. Nigora Fazulaeva, Senior Research Fellow of this center, will be presenting. Please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, dear guests. Thank you for coming for our ceremony. We represent the Center of the International Law Studies. Let me show you, sorry. Yes. It's designed to bring together highly qualified young international lawyers to undertake original research on relevant topics of international law in rigorous, vibrant, and collaborative environments. Our goal is to access international legal experience in areas including social justice, criminal law, human rights, energy, environment, trade, and intellectual property, drafting of laws, and the designing of their economic and government policies for constructing a sound legal infrastructure. in efforts to further support and promote good and efficient governance and development through the rule of the law. The objective of our center is to examine the existing problem of international law, then especially ones which have implementation of Uzbekistan and broader Central Asia. To analyze the extent to which international legal provisions that they have been ratified by Uzbekistan have been implemented effectively in the constraints that exist in their implementation. Then we wanted to say that our research, the law of international organization, United Nations law, and the law of integration institutions. Then at the end of our speech, we wanted to tell you that the raising awareness of the importance of the international legal dimension to address the challenges of contemporary society and the globalized world. Providing expert training those working in public intention, social organization, internship in the field of law. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Fazuleva. So we had presentations of our 5, I call them thematic centers, so which the centers which are focused on some specific topics. So if you have any questions or comments, the floor is open. So either around the table, we have also microphones in our room. Whoever has any questions or comments, please. Anything to clarify or add? Or comment?
Thank you very much. I just wanted to comment, in fact, to congratulate to the university for establishing of the institute, and with such a relevant topics. As a UNDP, we were last year particularly focusing, it was at the end of the year when we spoke about the Center for Sustainable Development, very much at the heart of the mandate of the UN and UNDP. Now, why I wish to say only a few words why we think that it's important, it's a good development that such a think tank has been established within the university, for a number of reasons. At the beginning, it was mentioned the world is facing not only crises of different kinds and wars, but the most existential one on its sustainability, the climate crisis that we are living into. So therefore, what from our experience also in Uzbekistan, the policies are not enough to address these issues. It is also very important to have an education behind the public awareness. So as much as the institute and its different branches contribute to building the awareness of and support and demand, if you wish so, for policies that are sustainable, green, that is extremely important. And of course, to a hub of for analytical research to serve, to inform the policies always important and needed. So that was my comment on the presentation so far, and particularly on the Sustainable Development Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Demovska. Thank you for your comment. So we have questions somewhere there? Yes, please.
Добрый день, меня зовут Наргиза Аликулова, я представляю Азиатский банк развития, где я отвечаю за распространение знаний и коммуникации. И мой вопрос, как эксперт...
My question is how the analytical research mechanism would be working, whether a single platform will be created for research projects, products, analytical products that will be available for the wider public, for international organizations. It is noteworthy that such a think tank has emerged, but probably one single communication platform is quite necessary to make it accessible for international organizations. I think I can respond to that. The purpose of our institute is exactly this, to create open academic platform for academic exchange, for knowledge exchange and sharing experience and making the knowledge products accessible for a wider public. So our task is not just to let the senior management know about our results, but also to share the results of the research with the wider public. And I think today we invited our colleagues from other analytical centers, and the task is to create a platform that we can exchange knowledge sharing, and we can do joint research. I think our colleagues from other analytical centers and institutes will support us, and also we created our website. You can visit our website and you can see that all the materials that we developed so far, they are posted, published in our website as well as in social media networks. And we will be conducting research and different research events. Some of them have been mentioned by the presenters, and of course we will be conducting trainings and workshops. We will be doing advocacy works, and our task is to make more accessible to wider public our policy briefs as well as more comprehensive research products. I would like to add, since we have potential clients here, we would like to mention that part of the research on request, they will be discussed with the client. If there is sometimes there is a business idea, if the client will not allow the publication, then we will not publish. But if the request comes, and if there is some pre-investment studies that has some confidentiality, or if it's not for a wider public, this will be discussed and will be reflected in our contract with the client. But overall, everything will be published except this type of products. I would like to add, in my presentation, I told that the purpose of creation of this institute is to generate open discussion platform which will not have some limitations, and open this research platform and a knowledge sharing discussion platform. This is also mentioned in the presidential resolution, and we will be getting paid for that. The special resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers will be getting paid for creating this discussion platform. And a second, I would like to emphasize and call for international organizations and donors, and would like to draw their attention. We will be conducting specific research which are not accessible for other institutions. This is not because we are setting ambitious goals, but anthropology lab and conflictology lab which was created. This is a unique one of its kind in Central Asia. It has unique personnel and has unique analytical tools and research tools. And what we will be doing under these labs, this is a serious research, not from the academic standpoint, but also meaning it will be fundamental and practical. So the research in the institute, research of the in-house staff, this will be their own research. This will not be taken from other sources, other products. These are cross-cultural field research, sociological, anthropological. These are research in sociology, ethnopsychology, conflictology, which is not yet developed in our countries. So this is a priority area for us. So these issues should be interesting for our guests here. Members, representatives of international organizations, donor organizations who are here. So this is our task. And you should be interested, if you are looking for some kind of research, you should be interested in this.
Any last comment or question?
Buranbar, Yana.
Please. Marhaban.
Ассаламу алейкум. К вашему выступлению, уважаемый.
Good afternoon. Dear Mr. Sherzod, I would like to clarify what scientific capacity do you have? Do you have high Hirsch index professors known to international circles who have will you have longitude research, and will you have your own journal, and will it be international or it will be only national journal? The scholars who are engaged in this research, you know, I'm skeptical with regard to such rating, all kind of ratings and indexes. Of course, this is being discussed among academic and scholars, but I'm quite skeptical. Then second, as I said before, we are already being published. Some of our research materials already published in national interest. This is the main publication of the Republican Party. This is Hudson Institute in Washington. After Foreign Affairs and Foreign Policy, this is the third international relations journal, and our staff members' articles already published there. So who is employed here? As I said, we have a great potential. We have not only political scientists, we have historians, we have anthropologists, we have sociologists, international sociologists, we have a PhD in sociology, Azamat Seyitov. If you know him, he is anthropology specialist in international relations and sociology. We have a group of people specialized on techno, for example, Afghanistan area. Our Mr. Akram, he's one of the unique specialists on Afghanistan, not from the standpoint of the history, culture, economy, but just from the standpoint of internal political science of Afghanistan, current political science. So the institute unites a unique staff members. So it's
Thank you very much. Yes, it's true that we have an interesting mixture of experts with both very academic and practitioners background, and I think it will be helpful in developing exactly what we try to develop, to link academia with policymaking. Thank you. So I think we need to move further to our second session, to the presentations of area studies centers, I would say.
Я тебя сам представлю, наверное. Я имею честь представить следующий доклад.
And here I would like to also introduce our next presentation on the center. So this will be the presentation about the Center for Afghanistan and South Asian Studies, and Mr. Akram Ikramov who will be presenting this presentation.
We heard some words about Afghanistan and South Asia studies. I think it's truly important for Uzbekistan to develop this dimension, despite the fact that politicians and officials are talking about connectivity between Central and South Asia, about the role of Afghanistan in Central Asian integration. We didn't have a specific dedicated center on these issues before. Of course, they were part of some other research institutions, but such dedicated center, I think it's the first unique platform for this research. First, I would like to mention about, it's not working. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we have, for now, we have two fellows, one myself, sorry. I have some experience working in Uzbek academic institutions and also studying abroad in the UK, and also having an opportunity to be a Chevening Scholar and Fulbright alumni in the United States. Recently, I had an opportunity to work with my colleagues on Afghanistan and Central Asia studies at the University of Pittsburgh. Our second research fellow is an experienced also practitioner. He has a background of working in law enforcement agencies before. He has degrees in system analysis, conflict, security, and development from King's College, also Chevening scholarship holder. So he also has the needed security background with both understanding of war and conflict studies. What we are doing right now, we are developing both research and also supporting universities in building dedicated educational courses devoted to Afghanistan and South Asia studies. We are trying to maintain the highest levels of quality that we can provide on South Asian studies in Central Asia. And we're engaging with key themes on politics, economy, and culture in Afghanistan, and its impact on geopolitical and geoeconomic dynamics in Central Asia. Our priorities for now: monitoring political processes in this broad region, providing with findings for the decision-making processes. So we publish our outputs, we share them with our partners in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, other ministries. We conduct risk assessment, identify and analyze, evaluate impact and likelihood of threats and vulnerabilities for Central Asian region. And also we are trying to serve as a resource hub for scholars on Afghanistan and the larger region of South Asia. So here in the whole, you can see just core stuff of our institute. But at the same time, we have a pool or network of researchers who are affiliated with us and who are usually engaged in some specific dedicated topics or activities or projects within our institution. Academic capacity development programs, we also provide some training courses and educational courses for different type of groups. Our objectives: we would like to become a forum for the exchange of knowledge and scholarly insights through organizing different workshops, conferences, and also producing publications. As I mentioned, both policy related and also fundamental research. Conduct an interdisciplinary research, drawing but not limited to fields of security studies, history, anthropology, sociology, and political science, and also to advance balanced and realistic understanding of the politics, to stay non-partisan, and to develop this scholarly vision on this region. Few publications which were mostly dedicated to the issues of Afghanistan. Now we are working more to engage deeper with affairs in Pakistan, in India, and their relations with Central Asian countries, especially with Uzbekistan, and some potential. Right now we are on the process of agreeing two projects with first with the British Embassy. It's under consideration and negotiations, broadly researching the implications for Central Asia after August 2021 takeover in Afghanistan, and also its impact on terroristic groups in Central Asia. The second is a project which we are discussing now with the Rajaratnam School of International Studies in Singapore. Also, we are planning to jointly monitor and assess the content of social media and activities of radical religious groups in Central Asia and Afghanistan. Potential topics which we would like in foreseeable future to develop the topics is transboundary waters shared by Central Asia and Afghanistan, and some scientific ways of cooperating, avoiding potential conflicts on water resources, prospects for economic and investment cooperation between the neighbors and Afghanistan, connectivity projects to Pakistan and India, exploring more details, development of railway, pipeline, and automobile infrastructure, not just smaller scale Central Asia, South Asia connectivity, but within broader now North-South connectivity concept. Enhancement of trade links, and also perspective of maintaining peace and stability in Afghanistan. And I think especially now, considering all vulnerabilities which we can see in this country, it's truly important. So this is some brief introduction from our center. Thank you very much. And we are proceeding further to the next center, which is Center for Asia Pacific Studies, which is led by one of the vice rectors of UWED, His Excellency, Dr. Ziadullah Po'lat-Khajayev. Dr. Po'lat-Khajayev has both scholarly and diplomatic career experience. He was Uzbekistan's ambassador to Russian Federation and Kyrgyzstan, and also served many years as a head of different departments at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Dr. Po'lat-Khajayev, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants. Allow me also briefly outline the main goals and objectives of the Center for Asia Pacific Studies. Our center is staffed by scientific personnel with experience in the diplomatic sphere, as well as those who have completed long-term training in the leading education institutions of the Asia Pacific countries. We have established scientific and business contacts with the expert community of Uzbekistan, specializing in APC issues. In addition, work is underway to establish contacts with the experts in the countries of Central Asia. Thus, a communicative platform for scientific and experts of the region is being formed, fit in various aspects of the relations between states of Central Asia and Asian Pacific countries. As we know, in recent decades, we have all witnessed the steadily growth of the economic potential of the Asia Pacific states, which leads to change in the global balance of power and strengthening of its international influence. There is a redistribution of material resources which ensure the rapid development of this region in the long term. Outpassing other regions of the world in terms of economic growth, including in science-intensive, technologically advanced industries, the APC also demonstrates its readiness to further develop an effective model of international cooperation. Some states of the region initiated global projects capable to changing the modern architecture of globalization. In this regard, it's important for Uzbekistan and the states of Central Asia to develop effective mechanisms for mutually beneficial cooperation, to identify and expand points of contact that can bring their relations to the level of modern requirements. The leading countries of the Asia-Pacific region have established cooperation with our region according to the formula of 5 SA countries plus. This approach, in addition to bilateral ties, open up new horizons for the implementation and major joint projects. It also corresponds to the foreign policy of New Uzbekistan to strengthen good neighborly relations with the neighboring states. Also, large international projects will contribute to integrate all the countries of Central Asia on advanced technological basis. We see the main mission of our center is creating an intellectual and scientific practical bridge between Central Asia and APC, promoting inter-civilization dialogue. It is aimed at improved mutual understanding of the parties in all areas, including political, economic, scientific, humanitarian, and other components. Our center constantly monitors the political and economical developments in the leading countries of Asia-Pacific region, as well as the development trends in the region as a whole. On this basis, studies will be carried out to identify ways to develop full-scale practical cooperation between the countries of the region in the field of security, investment, trade, high technology, as well as transport, logistics, green technologies, and educational field. We have established with the leading countries for Eurasian studies in China, Japan, and the Republic of Korea, with which we plan to conduct joint research in these areas. Thus, we intend to develop joint, mutually acceptable, practical, and scientifically sound proposals for deepening cooperation between two sides. The practical methodology of our center will consist in applied research, scientific seminars, conferences, development of projects and programs of joint fundamental and applied research, publication of educational materials, scientific articles, and formation of collection of scientific papers based on them. Since we are an integral part of the University of World Economy and Diplomacy, we will continue to deal with education programs. Thank you very much for attention.
Thank you, Dr. Polat Khajayev. Now we are moving to the, again, I think, unique Center for American Studies. The presentation will be given by head of the center, Mr. Ulug'bek Ishankhajayev. Mr. Ishankhajayev is an experienced Uzbek diplomat who worked for many years at Uzbek mission in the United States, Uzbekistan's embassy, and also he has an experience of working as a consultant and officer in different international organizations. Please, Mr. Ishankhajayev.
Distinguished guests, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. From the outset, I'd like to point out that my presentation pursues much more humble purposes due to the nature of our center, which will be brought to your attention in the course of my presentation. First of all, what is the center and its objectives? As it comes out from the slide, the center is a subdivision of the institute, focusing on information and analytical activities related to Americas in a large sense of this word, as well as providing educational and methodological support to the university, students, faculty on the subject of American studies. Due to our limited capabilities, which will be described below, we are focusing mostly for the time being on the United States. As for the subject definition, I'd like to underscore, as you can see, it's not only about politics and history, but also about art, literature, and popular culture, which in our view is very important because these dimensions represent intellectual underpinning of the achievements of the nation. Our main objectives are listed in this slide, and I'd like to limit myself to some remarks that apart from contributing to the implementation of the major bilateral guiding documents and agreements, we monitor key events of the US domestic and foreign policy affecting the national interest of the Republic of Uzbekistan and internationally. We study various aspects of foreign policy and national security of the United States, follow the activities of the major think tanks, lobbying structures, philanthropic foundations, and sponsorship organizations, while trying to figure out ways and means of establishing partnership with them. Since US foreign policy is a reflection of its domestic policy, we've been trying to shed a light on American history and government by lecturing the final year students. You can see on this slide our selected activities. This is pretty straightforward and self-explanatory, so I won't take too much time to explain all of this. It's clear. Next slide is our staff. It's consists of your obedient servant and 2 final year students who, through my lectures, got interested with the subject of American studies and now work as part-timers along with their studies. You can see that they have chosen specific areas of the interest, and they work now on their diplomas related to these subjects. Now, sort of the problem part of our activities, or our status. We are starting from scratch because since this inception of the university, there have not been any courses on American studies. What we are facing as a major problem is the severe lack of local experts and faculty qualified on American studies. Throughout 30 years, there have been just a handful of scientific and research works on American studies, maybe 6 to 7, and they all dealt with the just single subject of the Central Asian, United States policy in Central Asia. What we are doing nevertheless, or trying to do lately since the beginning of our activities, is to focus on some areas where our capabilities are somewhat in demand and we can produce compatible papers. So first of all, as we face a shortage of the qualified cadres, we need to train people, and we are trying now. There have been 3 semesters through which I've been reading lectures on American government. And I'd like to underscore that interest of the students have been overwhelming for this subject. To this end, I have been conducting anonymous polls at the end of each semester of the students who attended my classes, and the average rate, positive response of the students was over 90%. So that somehow shows how big is the interest to the subject, and that somehow helps us to look forward with optimism, and we hope that some of these students would eventually turn into the specialists on American studies. And as you can see, 8 final year students only within last semester have expressed their interest for American studies, for various fields of American studies, by trying to prepare their diplomas on these subjects. In the meantime, course manual on American government is nearing its end, and we hope that this would also increase attraction of the American studies among students. We are now also trying to bring as much as possible native American professors, mostly of emeritus studies, to make sure that they will not be obliged with the strings at home, and they would be able to pay most of their attention to our university. And there are subjects which we are trying now to pursue and to introduce into curricula, like American presidency, foreign policy, and so religion and American arts and culture. We are now in stage of negotiations. There are no clear responses yet, but we look forward that we might be able to somehow arrange these people to come to the university. And what is the way ahead? Of course, primary target is to build capacity. Our methodology is crawl, walk, and run. We are looking for an opportunities to send 5 to 10 students to the United States for intensive summer course, which would be, of course, a great contribution to our capabilities. We are now in the process also to establish partnership with the associations of American studies worldwide. And that would also expand our options in hand to advance the subject at the university. And our midterm objective is, if we are successful, we would be able, we are looking to establishing in 3-5 years a chair of American studies at the university. So last thing I'd like to say that we are eventually, after all, feel ourselves like as we are settlers, pilgrims who came to America in early 17th century and found an abundant lands in front of them. And all they needed is to apply their skills and labor to these lands to make it fertile and to achieve the progress which would eventually enhance bilateral relations between Uzbekistan and the United States. Thank you for your attention.
So you can see we are very disciplined. We follow all our strict schedule. And last but not least, we would like to hear the presentation from the Center for European Studies. It will be provided by the Senior Research Fellow of this center, Mr. Alaouddin Komilov, who is a truly cosmopolitan person who studied in 3 different countries, in China, in South Korea, in UK, having postgraduate degrees from different universities, Seoul National University and London School of Economy. Now he's deepening more and more in European studies and has also published several papers devoted to some European affairs. He will share more details right now. Please, floor is yours.
Thank you. Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me present my presentation. So let me introduce our colleagues. So here, the head of our center is Rustam Kayumov, who is professional diplomat. He has also degree in international relations and economics, and he has also master's degree. He got another degree from United Kingdom. So then I am a leading research fellow in this center. I am also adjunct professor at the University of World Economy and Diplomacy, here, which means here. So I got 3 masters, as Akram Azamatovich mentioned. So if Our center, before starting my presentation, I would like to note that the establishment of such a center is natural and essential, given the fact that for the first years of independence, Uzbekistan proclaimed that cooperation is one of the foreign policy priorities of Uzbekistan. And currently, the president of European Council, Charles Michel, visited Central Asian countries, and this cooperation reached a new level. So I think this the formation of this center is essential not because of its particular specialization in European studies, but also the need for open and frank dialogue and exchange on crucial issues between Central Asian countries and European countries. So I want to remind that such scientific and expert interaction is rooted in ancient times when Central Asian scientists such as Farabi, Avicenna, Al-Biruni, Al-Kharazmi, and other great ancestors comprehensively studied the Greco-Roman heritage about the nature, society, state, and law, enriching it with the new knowledge and understanding, which eventually returned to Europe, transforming European philosophy and civilization as a whole. I'm sure the mutual desire of Uzbekistan and Europe to strengthen and to coordinate practical beneficial cooperation at the bilateral and regional level. For example, we know there was meeting between Central Asian countries, and Joseph Borrell visited Samarkand. There was dialogue EU Central Asian Sustainable Connectivity Conference. So here you can see our objectives. I want to emphasize that our research will be of an applied and interdisciplinary nature, going beyond pure academic activities. So all products will be oriented not only government, diplomatic corps, or political circles, but also general market for private sector. So here in this slide, you can see what we offer. So we conduct qualitative data analysis, field work, experiments, at the same time organize scientific and expert forums, conference, seminars, and workshops. And we also produce political memos, analytical reports, journals, and scientific monographs. So in this slide, you can see our current project. So in collaboration with the Center for European Security Studies and Europe and Central Asia Monitoring Program in the Netherlands. So our center will have 2 months research project on EU and Central Asia connectivity. So the expected outcome will be policy-oriented research paper on opportunities and challenges of EU's engagement in Central Asia. We also offer policy analysis, memos, and recommendations. We cover a wide range of issues, and in this slide you can see our papers published in the National Interest and the Diplomat. So in this slide you can see what we offer, potential topics. So I think that the most important one is current state and prospects of EU and Central Asian cooperation in the context of ongoing transformation on the European continent. So we also very eager to conduct research on strengthening energy and transport connectivity, transport security, also a new economic projects for region between, not only for Central Asia, between Central Asia and European continent, also new European research and education programs for Central Asia. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alauddin. So now the floor is open for any questions or comments you may have to our speakers from the second session. Any questions or comments? Please, Mr. Rajabov.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I will be brief. I have just 2 remarks here. I represent Friedrich Ebert Foundation in Uzbekistan, and we do support think tanks and research institutions in the country. And first thing I want to say is to, first of all, congratulate the management of the University of World Economy and Diplomacy and the institute, newly established institute. I think this is already a huge accomplishment that we all need to support in the country, because this is by default a great contribution to social science, whatever discipline the institute picks to develop. This is already a step forward, definitely, and we are happy as a foundation to already start supporting the institute. Last year, we have organized the think tanks leadership workshop, and many research fellows of the institute could participate. This is great deal. Whether this is an applied science that will be developed, or this some policy recommendations, or great op-eds that I also follow, also Alaudin and other scholars, they publish constantly. This is, I think, a good thing to do for the development of the social science in Uzbekistan. And number two, I would say, certainly, since I don't know if after this the signing the memorandums I will have a chance to say that, I wanted to emphasize that I, of course, know many of the people here in this audience in different capacity, and I can assure that those are really the practitioners and the scholars that can contribute to the development of the institute. And we offer, of course, our support here in having more policy-oriented research. This is something that we as a foundation also hear from the government of Uzbekistan, from the partners we meet, is the need to have this, the research and the evidence-based analysis of the current affairs in the country, in the region, and globally. And of course, with just saying that, I would like to finish and wish you good luck. And sky is the limit. So good luck, Akram, and the whole team of the institute and the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Please, Mr. Fournier.
Yes, this is for the director of your Center for American Studies. The Embassy of Spain is ready to help in whatever he may need regarding contacts with or in Latin America.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. Any other comments or questions? Please, Mr. Prahat.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for this very wonderful presentation of all the centers. I think that we are all very eager to cooperate with the new study center which is coming up, and I think that it is good for my country also to know in detail and work with your center. On the presentation of the South Asian Studies Center, I would like to say that if you can also have a look and correct the political map of South Asia, which was shown, because my country's political boundaries were not shown correctly. Secondly, I would like to say that also let's identify the number of and the names of policy and foreign policy and strategic journals which are being published in South Asia. At least I can help from my country, so that they also become the the reservoirs of knowledge in your library, so that you get a very well-rounded perspective in how the center establishes its further domain of knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are very grateful for your proposals, and we will be in touch with you on defining some priority areas for cooperation. But I would like to inform also that we are already in touch and partnering with several Indian think tanks and universities, Institute for Development for Defense and Security Studies, Vivekananda Foundation, Observer Research Foundation, and Jawaharlal Nehru University, also, and several other universities. Any other last comments or questions? Yes, please, Dr. Abdullayev.
First of all, thank you for invitation, Dr. Marov.
Actually, we started cooperating maybe long enough, and you know the Karag Institute, what we are doing, mainly looking for economic cooperation in a region which is larger than Central Asia, including 5 other countries. What comes to my mind is that maybe immediately is that we opened recently, a week ago, call for think tank grants. Please, we are looking forward. If you need any support, Shahbaz, who is my colleague, he's here. We will share immediately the application form. Some of your studies very well fits what we are doing, especially on connectivity, regional trade, and new corridors. Secondly, we are planning to open in February fellowship called Fellowship Studies, which also includes a visit and stay at headquarters of Karag Institute in Urumqi in China. That should include also issues like water, energy, and climate issues. And then also this year in May, we are planning to conduct face-to-face research conference of Karag Institute. We may actually cooperate some of your centers who are looking for economic cooperation. On your specific focus, Afghanistan, I think water issues, Afghanistan, you know, recently became very, very well known for the region. So I myself spent a few years in studying water in Afghanistan, and I'm very much interested to start some kind of dialogue which really includes Afghan representatives and makes it serious, because it's a next challenge for the Central Asia, coping with growing demand for water in the region. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Abdullayev. So, yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I would like just briefly say, on behalf of my colleagues, the members of Senate of the Oliy Majlis of the Republic of Uzbekistan, indeed, we are joining to the all words of congratulations with this new institutional unit, analytical unit. Just I would like to underline that the new institute is enhancing practically all spheres of very actual research, which actually also the Parliament, especially our Committee, Foreign Affairs, very need to use these scientific researches, and of course for foreign relations and foreign economic relations, especially now for the contemporary very difficult period of international relations, it needs to this deep scientific research and basement. That's why thank you very much for this opportunity to take part in this very important event. And I would like to confirm the readiness of all committees of Senate of the Oliy Majlis of Uzbekistan to closely cooperate with the new institute, and wish all best wishes and success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alima, for your kind words and supporting our institution. So I think we are set with our presentations. We were very successful in being on time. So we have a last part of our event today, signing ceremony. We have 4, despite being a quite young institution, we have reached an agreement with 4 different institutions on signing memorandums of understanding and already starting some cooperation. Today we will be signing our MOU with Friedrich Ebert Foundation office in Uzbekistan, with School of Global Studies at the University of Sussex, United Kingdom, Rasanah think tank in Saudi Arabia, and finally University of Pittsburgh, Center for Governance and Markets at the University of Pittsburgh in United States. It will take, I think, maximum 10 minutes. It's very quick. So please, we would like to start first with our in-person partner, with our distinguished friend and partner, Mr. Dr. Rajabov. I would like to invite you to that table to sign an MOU with our director. Now, I would like to invite our partner from Saudi Arabia, Rasanah Institute, to join us for this signing. So, please, we can start signing the MOU. Then I will give you a floor for comment. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Ya bo'ladi, men o'rtada kreslo bo'lsa bo'ladi. So please, Mr. Al-Sulami, the floor is yours for your comments.
Yeah, Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and very good afternoon to all friends and colleagues. It is our pleasure today to participate with you remotely in the inaugurations of the Institute for Advanced and International Studies at the University of World Economy and Diplomacy. It is our congratulations from Saudi Arabia on this important part. First, the inaugurations, and second, the partnership with such important first country and a university, and of course the institute. We at Rasanah looking forward for more collaborations and implementations of the signing the MOU and the sky as limit in the collaborations, whether on the regional issues or more importantly in the bilateral relation between the two brotherly countries, Uzbekistan and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We look forward for implementation of these collaborations, and it is an open invitation for you to visit your secondary country, Saudi Arabia, and the institute, and working together on different levels in the interest of both organizations. The Rasanah Institute is working in different issues, regional and international levels, and I think there are lots of opportunities for collaboration between the two institutions. I don't want to take more time, but I congratulate you again and looking forward to more collaboration. Thank you very much.
Mr. Solami, thank you very much for joining us today for establishing cooperation between our institutions. We are very looking forward to continuing this partnership and bringing specific outputs out of this collaboration. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I would like to give the floor to the Director of Asia Center at the School of Global Studies, University of Sussex, Professor Magnus Marsden. He is online on Zoom. Yes. Magnus, please, the floor is yours.
Well, respected guests, it's a great honor to mark both the launch of this new center, but also the signing of an MOU between University of Sussex's School of Global Studies and the Institute of Advanced International Studies. The School of Global Studies is a center of research focused on the study of international affairs, adopting both multi and interdisciplinary perspectives. And it's also home to the Sussex Asia Center, which promotes scholarship addressing connections between different parts of Asia. And we have a strong interest and base of scholarship in the study of Central Asia and Afghanistan in particular. And we're looking forward, therefore, to cooperating in research on the pressing issues facing Uzbekistan, Central Asia, and the wider world, where both of our strengths lies, and those strengths have very much been seen in today's presentations, including the relationship of conflict to political and economic transformation, the changing role of religion in society, the issues surrounding the preservation of tangible and intangible heritage, to issues relating to environmental change and water management, and the area of my own focus of research in recent years, the role of commerce in regional connectivity. I look greatly forward to working with Akram and others in Tashkent on new research projects which will be of relevance both to scholarship but also to the region itself. Thank you very much indeed for this opportunity and congratulations.
Professor Marsden, thank you very much, and we are really looking forward to our collaboration. We're already discussing with you some joint projects regarding Afghanistan, Central Asia connectivity, on trade and infrastructure issues, so we would be keen to continue this partnership. Thank you very much. And finally, our partner from Center for Governance and Markets, Professor Jennifer Murtazashvili. Unfortunately, due to the big time difference, she couldn't join us virtually, but she was very keen to send us some video message. So I would like to ask our technical staff to demonstrate the short video message, which where she would like to send some greetings. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, aziz do'stlar, aziz mehmonlar. My name is Jennifer Murtazashvili. I am the founding director of the Center for Governance and Markets at the University of Pittsburgh. We are so thrilled to be partners with the Institute for Advanced International Studies at the University of World Economy and Diplomacy. We have signed a memorandum of understanding with your institute to help advance joint research projects. We are so excited about this because for many years, there has been a hole in the heart of Central Asia, a hole that's been impossible to fill. And so we are so excited to see your institute filling that void, to create an opportunity, a space for scholarly engagement for research on Uzbekistan, on Central Eurasia, and the world. We know that Tashkent has long been the heart of research in Central Eurasia, and we are so excited to see all of you reclaim that place, that space as the center of research, as the center of an important research hub for the region. We are here to learn from you. We are here to try to see the world from your perspective. As a research center here in Pittsburgh, our research center focuses on the world from the bottom up. And we say, when you look at the world from the bottom up, you tend to see much more cooperation rather than conflict. You tend to find creativity in the many ways that people organize their lives and try to solve problems. So we're really thrilled to be able to work with you and wear your lenses and see the world from your perspective in the months and years to come. It's a great honor to be with you. We hope to continue our cooperation and our collaboration. Please be in touch, and congratulations on such a wonderful achievement. This is a huge achievement, not just for your university, but for all of Central Eurasia and for the region. We look forward to working with you and seeing all of you very soon. Kurish Gunsha, Chaya.
So I'm very glad that we have this strong partnership with such a diverse group of partners representing different continents and countries. We are really looking forward to continue this partnership, to deepen it, and what is more important, I think, to produce specific outcomes and outputs out of this collaboration. So with this, I would like to thank you for all your patience, for all your interest, for your time, and for being with us. We are very looking forward to our cooperation, and I think this meeting, despite the meeting is ending, but our partnership is just starting. We are very looking forward to work together. Thank you very much. Now we will have a good reception in this hall. Please enjoy your time, have some opportunities to network, to exchange some views, to approach our researchers, and have some time to chat about collaboration. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Al-Sulami, for joining us and for your time and support to us. We are looking forward. Thank you to our cooperation.